where I always like to start off is growing up. What was kind of fill us in on kind of growing up. What was that like? Kind of up to your high school, college. Getting out of high school.
All right. So I grew up, my mom and dad were separated. So I had a single mom, kind of watched her work hard, 2, 3 jobs at a time. So she was always out there doing different things, but hard jobs, working at the post office, doing a lot of jobs where she was standing on her feet, just a lot of physical stuff. So that's kind of what I grew up seeing was her working hard. Grandparents stepped in to kind of help raise me and be there for me. I went to a Christian school when I was young, just strange now, but I went to a Christian school from 3rd to 8th grade. So I grew up in a really small, tight community. There was, I think, 18 of us in that class. And then I got thrown into a major public high school. So it was kind of a culture shock, you would say.
Yeah.
And so most people don't know it if they know me now, but I was a very, very shy person. I had my little group of friends, and outside of that, I was kind of nervous to go out. Still get that way sometimes, but I was very nervous then. And high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do, probably like most high schoolers. Uh, I passed high school. I did not try my hardest for sure. I did not push myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Just went there.
What?
So after that, I went to college. The plan was to go to nursing school. I did all the prerequisites, realized that I don't really like blood. I don't really like the smell of things. I didn't really like doing that. I just wanted to help people, but I didn't know how I wanted to help people. So while I was doing that, I worked at a hardware store, ironically. I was a manager at Sears Hardware, and I liked that role. I liked being a manager and helping people. So that was something I really enjoyed, but I just, when you're young, you don't know how to apply that to your future.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm curious. I went to 3 different schools while growing up,
Yeah.
and my wife went to a Lutheran school up until 8th grade, and I think she had like a class size of like 8.
Yeah.
Are you from the Columbus area or?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Grove City,
Okay.
still live here now. Ironically, I have well, I'm sure we'll get there, but out of my kids, our oldest is now starting in the high school that I graduated from, which is a whole nother world of strange. But yeah, so born and raised here. But then, so didn't end up graduating college because I
Yeah.
didn't know what I wanted to do. And I got a job at Medco Pharmacy, just through people I knew, connections, and just kind of took that job as a job, good benefits. You're out of school, you don't know what to do. So that's kind of my school situation.
Was college something that you wanted to do, or was it kind of like implied next steps?
I think it definitely implied next steps. No one in my family, immediate family, had ever gone to college. So I think for me, it was just how do I get a job where I'm not working at a warehouse or, those jobs are great, but I always knew that I wanted to do something more. So I think for me, it was just kind of the next step. Looking
No.
back, looking back, I wish I would have known other options, but when you're young and dumb.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, for me, I have my own thoughts on college and
Yeah.
school in general and things like that. But, it's hard as a, 16 to 22-year-old to
Yeah.
define exactly what the hell you want to do with your, life,
Yeah.
career wise. And that's partly why, I like having, successful agents come on here because the reality is the majority of people that get into our business, it's not like they just jump in at 18 or they jump in like I did at right out of college and that's what they've done, for their whole career. Typically it's, it's different careers and it led them to this point. And the whole goal of this is, if there's another agent out there that can relate to your story and can see that it's possible, right?
Right.
Coming from, a single mom, household and, going to nursing school and figuring out that that's not for you, and then you know not graduating, right? And that's okay too, right? Because now you got other options, and all those other things. Like, that's the whole point of this show, is to just show that it's possible, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many different paths and journeys that can get you to wherever you once were, to wherever you want to get to.
Yeah, and I think that has really pushed me, especially now having my own kids, to tell them there are trades, there are things. I never would have thought that I would make the money that I make now with not having a college degree and not even having any real life experience. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So after all of that, I don't know if you want me to elaborate more on that, but
Yeah, just walk me through that journey, because I
yeah,
always find when I'm talking to people, there's usually something that they learned, picked up on, whatever it was from, a previous career or a decision that has greatly impacted their life in real estate.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So I started working at Medco, and then got married, got pregnant, and my first daughter, I couldn't bear the thought of putting her in daycare. So I quit my job, became a stay-at-home mom. Had two girls, and I just thought, I can't do this. I am not cut out to be a stay-at-home mom. Kudos to all the stay-at-home moms out there. I went crazy. There was no adults.
oh my gosh.
It wasn't a good fit for me. We had just bought a house. It was a short sale. I remember the nightmare of going through a short sale. It took 9 months. I was pregnant. It was terrible. And at the time, my cousin sold real estate, and I just looked up to him. He just always seemed, he got up, he had a professional job. Something about it was just starting to kind of get me interested. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take my real estate classes and just do it part-time. Let's see what happens.
What year was that?
So I started in 2010.
Okay, perfect.
So
Right
the
at
worst
the good
time
time.
ever. So I started at the worst time ever. And my first year I made $9,000, and I thought, why am I doing this? But I started to see the money, and I started to see the potential. And I thought, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm paying board fees and I'm paying a couple fees, but I'm making money. So I can still be home and I'm not missing things, but I can still go out and make money.
Yeah.
So I honestly, just like you said, I researched all of the top agents. Okay, what are they doing? How are they standing out? And how can I be like them and make it my own? And that's when I started getting creative. And it's funny, I tell new agents now, because I actually train agents now, and I tell them, it's funny because real estate is only a small part of actual real estate. Selling houses is just a teeny part of actually selling real estate. It is exactly what we're doing now. It's marketing. It's being creative. It's being you, because people don't want to hire the same person they've seen 90 times. They want someone that's doing something new and something different.
Yeah.
And then I had my third kid, a son, and that's when my career really started taking off. And it was great because the kids went with me, so they saw things and they could help with things, but I wasn't missing out on anything. And for me, that is really important.